Hello everybody, welcome back to my page. I'm Laura with Chocolates Chocolate Design. Say hi as you jump on. Hit that heart button. Let me know that you're here and that you're watching. Happy last day of summer break for my kids, y'all. We go back to school tomorrow. I cannot believe that this summer has flown by so incredibly fast. So they're supposed to be sleeping right now. Hopefully they are. I think Evan's struggling because he is just so excited for school to start tomorrow. So in just a second, I am going to have a keyword for you to type in. When you type in this keyword, I'm going to send you a message with a supply list of all of the things that we're using tonight. And tonight is another one of those projects that is by special request. I was sent a message asking specifically to do a tutorial on this particular technique. So I hope that you guys love this. Oh my goodness. Woo! Hi Terry, hi Cassie, hey Tracy. Hi Wendy and Melissa, hi Kathy and Jackie and Joni. Hello Maxine and Brenda, hi Valerie, hi Lisa Marie. Hello Carol, thanks so much. Hello Renee. Hello Leanne and Callie. Oh, thanks Carol. This is what happens to my hair when it rains outside. Hi Dottie, hi Lise. Hello Holly. Hello everybody. Welcome in. Hi Mary Jo. Okay, so you guys, here we go. Hi Becky. Oh my gosh, I love it that all my friends are joining me tonight. I so love it. Hi Zanny, how are you doing? Hi Mary. Hi Jess. All right, you guys, so we're doing another shirt project tonight. I was asked to do a shirt project with a technique that I haven't done in a very long time. And I'll tell you that when I did this one before, there were some mistakes that I made, and I'm not going to repeat those mistakes this time. We're going to do this the right way. All right. Hi, Sally. Hello, Jan and Wanda. Hello, everybody. Hi, Joy. Hi, Linda and Elizabeth. All right. So here we go, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and grab out my shirt. You guys know all about this. I have a orange shirt here. I get mine all at the Michaels store. Oh, thank you, Janice. Hi, Vicki. Hi, Ruth. I get mine at the Michaels store. I love Michaels so much for their shirts. I always buy the Bella and Canvas. I think that they are the most, they're the most comfortable. They are the most comfortable. I like their fit. I like everything about the Bella and Canvas shirts. So, we're going to grab out our ink mat here. Here we go, y'all. These are sticky. Hello, everybody. Hi, Diane. Both Dianes. Back to back. You guys, spice is the keyword. Type spice in there. Hi, Tony. All right. This is the sticky ink mat. We use these in between the layers of our shirt to protect it from getting ink on the back side, but also to hold our material in place. I like the big ink mats better than the little ones for shirts and things because it just gives you more room to work with, okay? So we're going to put this right inside here, and it'll give me a new shirt that I can wear tomorrow. When I take all the kids, you guys, oh, here's something else I got to tell y'all as you're jumping on, okay? Well, a little bit of life change is happening tomorrow with the kids going back to school, which means I can't stay up as late as I was, especially since I've got two kids that are now coming to my house in the morning that I'm going to be watching and getting them up or off to school in the morning, okay? So, while on school days only, you guys, I will not be answering any messages after my live. I apologize. It is what it is. I have to get some sleep. I can't continue to stay up until 1 o'clock in the morning. It's just not going to work getting up at 6. So, you can still send messages. My phone will be on sleep mode as soon as my live is over with, and I will get back to you guys first thing in the morning, okay? Unfortunately, that's just what it is when you go live so late at night. I kind of have to sleep at some point in time or it'll drive me crazy. Hello to everybody who just jumped on. All right, you guys, here's the transfer we're using tonight. This one is called Pumpkin Spice Life. So the technique that I was asked about was how do you do a pattern? What color is the shirt? It's kind of like a dark orange. I know, right, Cassie? Hi, Teresa. Is doing a pattern in the letters. You guys, I've done this before. The one that I did before didn't turn out as well as I had hoped. The word for tonight is spice. Hi, Karen. So when you're picking a transfer and you want to actually do a pattern in your letters, My biggest tip and trick for you is to make sure that the wording on the transfer that you're using is thick, okay? If you were to try to put a pattern in the little letters on Pumpkin Spice Life, you're barely going to see it, and it might not even be, might not even be able to read it because the pattern is going to distract from the actual letters. Where if you have a big font like these, you can easily put a pattern on there with it. And I'm going to give you some tips and some tricks to make that happen, okay? All right. So here we go, you guys. We're going to start this off just like regular. Just like regular. Hi, Peg. Hello, everybody. Now for this, because we're using it on a shirt, we don't need to fuzz, but I do have a rule to be able to line this up the way that you want it so that your design sits where it should on your shirt, okay? So first and foremost, you're going to find the tag on your shirt. Mine is right here above my finger. And I'm just going to use my fingernail to draw a line straight down from that tag, okay? So that's the center point of my shirt right there. I can see, hi Jennifer, hello everybody. I can see the fingernail line that I made. And then I'm going to take another one, and I'm actually going to pinch the armpits, you guys. The bottom part of the sleeve, right there where the armpit is at. I'm going to pinch that, kind of pull my shirt out, and I'm going to draw another line that goes straight to my armpits, okay? So where these two intersect, right in there, is where you want the midpoint of your design to be. If you go any higher, it's going to be too close to your neck, and it's going to look funny. If you go any lower, then it's going to be sitting on your belly. You want it to be lined up right with your armpits. Look at the shirt that I'm wearing right now. See how the design is right in line with my armpits. Okay, and I bet if you look at any shirt that you're wearing right now, it's probably the same. So in line with the armpits, straight down from the collar, okay? I eyeball it, but I'm going to take my transfer and right in the middle, like right at that S, right in the center of that S, that's where I'm going to put down that cross section. Hi, Carlene. Hi, Lena. Hello, everybody. And we're going to give this a good press down to make sure we've got no air bubbles in there. And that should be lined up pretty darn perfectly for my project tonight to make this shirt wonderful. Oh, is that an air bubble? No, it's not. All right. So we've got our transfer picked. It's got big letters. We're actually going to do this in a couple of steps. And I'm going to give you guys some tips and tricks as we go along. Hi, Denise. Hello, Laura. The kids are doing good. They're sleeping. They're super excited about school tomorrow. Super excited. We did meet and greets with the teachers today. And the teachers seemed really cool. And Evan got to wear his new kicks and show them off, you guys. He was so excited. He showed everybody. All right, we're using 3 different colors tonight. We're going to go with Dune, Papaya, and Espresso in ink, okay? These are ink. Unlike our pastes, these ones right here, you have to heat set in order to get it to be permanent. Our paste will dry hard, okay? All right, so here we go. I'm going to use Dune and Bark on this layer. I'm going to save my Papaya for what we're going to do next, all right? Ooh. Now be careful. Sound asleep by 8 p.m. Oh my gosh, Jennifer. 8:30 for my kids. 8:30 was our bedtime tonight. I try to have them in bed and sleeping by the time I go live, y'all. That's the goal. All right, I just got a little towel out there just in case my hands get any ink on them so I can wipe my fingers fast and easy. And we're going to go ahead and just do the transfer as normal on this first, okay? We're going to add our pattern in a little bit. Y'all, I'll show you. I want to start off with the Dune. Try to work with the farthest away from you and then work toward you so that you're not putting your arm through the ink as you draw your squeegee back, okay? And we're just going to go ahead and I'm going to do the whole PSL first in Dune. This is going to be the base layer of my color. Hi, hello everybody. Move our daughter into her dorm on Thursday. Oh my gosh, Jess. Jess says this moment isn't ready. I bet you're not. Told him he could go to bed at 8:30. He said, maybe tomorrow, Mom. I'm so tired. Oh, I bet. I bet. So tomorrow I start babysitting a couple of kids in the morning before school. And they're going to be here at 7 a.m. Now, that's early for me. I usually don't wake up until 7:30. I'm going to have to start getting up at like, oh, I don't know, 6, maybe 6:15. And that way I have time to get a shower and get myself ready before they show up, and I could give them my full attention. And yeah, so that's early for me, y'all. I usually wake up 7:15. Might be in the shower by 9. This summer's kind of been a little breezy for me. I'll sit there on my laptop for a while, get some work done, mosey around the house. I'm not a morning person at all, so this is going to be quite an adjustment. But we're going to make it happen. All right, so I'm doing this whole PSL in the Dune first, okay? Making sure that I've got all of that covered really well. And then I'm squeegeeing off all of that excess ink so I don't have any weird lines going on in my shirt. Oh, you get up at 5 every morning. Oh, Karen, no. That is too early. I used to get up at 5:30 when I worked my previous job. All right, and we're going to do espresso for where it says Pumpkin Spice Life. And this line here on the bottom. And then I'm going to come back in with my Dune. And I actually am going to have a Dune pumpkin for this shirt. I think it's going to look really good. Instead of having an orange pumpkin like normal, you guys know that the white pumpkins and the blue pumpkins are just as popular as an orange pumpkin. Let's make sure I'm getting the right color. And we're going to get all of the design laid out here first, okay? And if you didn't want to do any kind of special layering with patterns, then you don't have to. And you could stop just after this, heat set it, and your shirt would be just completed, okay? Completely up to you. You get up at 4:30 and start at 5. Oh my gosh, Christine. And you're still awake right now? Oh, your time zone's probably different than mine, isn't it? Because for me right now, it is already 9:43. Been getting up at 4 the last few mornings and start crafting. Oh my gosh. I'm doing good, Kim. How are you? All right, our little stars. And our Dune pumpkin. And everything on the bottom here is going to stay just as it is, okay? 4:30, Renee. Oh my gosh, y'all are really early risers. Hubby would leave the house at 3 a.m. to get to work in DC to get parking and still didn't work till 6 a.m. That's insanity. That's just plain insanity. Jamia says she's been up since 2 a.m. Why? No. No, that's too early. All right, I'm actually going to get out my bigger mat today for cleaning this. Though it has some dog hairs on it, that's okay. That's okay. All right, you guys, we're going to go ahead and pull this up and see how this looks. Pull it up slowly so that you can fix any spots that you might have missed. But remember that most of our transfers do have a distressing right to them, okay? So that's how it looks so far. I love it just as it is, but we're going to keep going. Oh, that is super cute. That is super cute. Before retirement, it was 4:15. Still a morning person, but a couple hours later, yeah, Diane, I hear ya. All right, I'm going to give this a spray down for a second. Now, you guys, we're going to have to, drive from Arizona to, what? Holy moly. 2 days of not being able to sleep. Ruth, take some melatonin. You have to sleep. All right, now if you're going to do a pattern on top of this, one thing that I need to tell you guys is absolutely under no circumstances are you to pull this up off of your ink mat. Do not heat set in between layers. Okay? Don't pull it off your ink mat. It is stuck down on here. It's been stretched. You will never ever get it lined back up again once you pull it off of here. So we're going to give this a good dry. Had to rough last night. Got up so the Dale's 2 thermoses filled. Another pot filled. Did a little laundry. Swept and mopped the floor. And then loaded the dishwasher. Sat down. Read some of your Bible. And then went back to bed at 9:30 when Dale got up. Oh my gosh, Carol. Husband leaves for work at 4 a.m. so I get up at 5. My coffee pot is set for 5 a.m. so when I smell it, it calls my name. Linda, you know, I miss that about being young. My dad was a coffee drinker. I am not. But waking up to the smell of my dad's coffee in the morning is something that I still remember. Thank you. Does what work? Your morning doesn't start till 9:30, 10 o'clock. I love that. Originally starting in California on Monday. Oh my gosh. All right, so we're going to get this dried up as best as we can here. See, I still got a little bit on my finger when I tapped it. For best results, you guys just let this sit just as it is for a day. Don't try to do this because you could actually warp your ink mat. Best practice is just to set this aside. But melatonin, yeah, melatonin works. It works. I'm probably going to take some tonight just because my sleep schedule has to change. And I'll be up thinking about all the different things. Oh my gosh, Bonus just says she still doesn't go to sleep until 3 to 5 a.m. Oh my goodness, girl. Because she was a late night worker. All right, you guys. So here we've got this right here. I'm going to move some things around for just a second here and go out of frame. And I'm going to move my shirt out of the way for a minute, okay? Because I need to wash my transfer now. We're going to use our same transfer again. Children go back to school on the 2nd of September. Your son was a teacher on the west side of the state. Husband started class. Oh my gosh, he started classes today. Mary Jo says she takes melatonin every night. I normally give my kids melatonin almost every night. They say that you can become dependent on it, but I don't know how true that is. And their little gummies are like 1 milligram. They get 1 milligram of melatonin, which is not much, but it's enough to just kind of like make them wind down. All right, I'm just using a paper towel at first to get all of that ink that I can off of there and onto a paper towel. And then I'm going to grab one of these and my little cup. Okay, I have a cup of water that I set right here. This does make it easier for me to be able to rinse out my squeegee. Or not my squeegee, my board eraser, you guys. You miss your children being small? Thank you. All right, we're going to go ahead and use our board eraser and just get off the rest of all of that ink. Now, the reason that I chose this different mat for cleaning this tonight is partially because it's more absorbent than my regular ones. And so I won't have all of that water on my table when I put my shirt back down on here. All right, so I'm cleaning off the front and I'm cleaning off the back side of this. Getting all of that ink out of that silk screen. There we go. I'm going to lay this. You take magnesium glycinate and GABA every night. Wow, I've never even heard of that before. Sandy, does that work even better than melatonin? Huh. Never heard of that. You guys, children being small is a lot of work. I feel like the older they get, the easier it's getting for me. I do not miss the days at all when I had to buckle them into their seatbelts all the time. I would not go backwards at all. I think every year just gets better and better, except for my daughter who has a sassy attitude. If I could get rid of that, we'd be living in a perfect world right now. You take magnesium also? All right, you guys, I put this right here is your fuzzing cloth. On the lighter side of it is actually the drying side, okay? That's used to dry your transfer off. It works quite well to dry it off, but actually, no, it's pretty darn dry. I'm not even going to try to dry it with my dryer. You take the magnesium glycinate also to keep your bowels regular. Well, that's always a good thing. Healthy poops and all. All right. Let me grab that shirt back out here. And you guys, this next step I want you to pay close attention to if you're wanting to do this technique, okay? Because it's very, very important. We're going to take that one transfer, add ashwagandha to help the melatonin work, okay? Magnesium has a lot of health benefits. Because I didn't lift this off my ink mat and it's still stuck down the way that it was, I should be able to line this transfer up almost perfectly with where those letters were. If you move this off your ink mat, you will not get it lined back up again. I promise you, it'll never line up the same again. If you're ever going to do layers, you have... Oh, I haven't seen that yet, Tracy. You have to leave it stuck down to your ink mat if you want to do a layer on here. So we're going to put this transfer back down on top. And then this right here, we're going to do on top of this to add a pattern. I am going to use the Weave-In pattern by Tiffany, Chalk from Tiffany. Love this right here. This pattern is so amazing. One of my faves. One of my absolute faves. But, you guys, this can get a little tricky, okay? Y'all are talking about poops and laxatives. I love it. All right. Even though we're doing on a shirt tonight, this is very important. Because we're going to layer our transfers, you really, really need to fuzz your pattern. And your pattern needs to go on top so you can line that first transfer back up with that original layer. Okay? So you're going to give this a really, really good fuzz. Really good fuzz, you guys. Oh, Wanda. Not soon already. We've been there, done that already. Yeah, that's what the moodiness is from. I know that. Hi, Bridget. How are you doing? Wasn't going to share her business, but you went there. All right, a really, really good fuzz on this. And I would also recommend using a pattern that you've already used a couple of times because it's not going to be as sticky as it is right out of the packaging the first time, okay? All right, here we go. We're going to lay this pattern right over top of that pumpkin spice life. Now it's not going to go through all of the extra weave-in pattern that's on here, okay? But we can still see where this stuff is at that we had on the bottom that we did earlier. Y'all following? Hope you are. Hope you are. And I'm going to go ahead and use my papaya. I hope the papaya is the right color to use, you guys. I really, really do. Because it's awfully close to the color of the shirt. Oh, you guys, let's not get into that conversation. Aw. I decided I'm going to mix this with a little bit. You've never seen anyone do like this? Okay, well, you're going to see it. You're going to see it. I'm going to mix some papaya with a little bit of espresso just to make it a little bit darker than the shirt, because I feel like it is too light right now. Oh, the other stuff that I used that was instead of the Spanish moss, that was called Excelsior. It's called Excelsior. So you guys, just a smidge, because y'all, the browns go a long way. It does not take much at all to change that. How come you can't just lay the top transfer on the right on the shirt? Because if you did that, then you would have to be very, very careful to only put the pattern right where your PSL is. If you just put it on top of the letters, you would be very, very carefully and methodically trying to get the PSL on there. But if you put that first transfer down on there, then you've got all of that that teal part of your transfer keeping it from going through. Does that make sense? I'll show you guys. I will show. Okay, I like this color much, much better. Yes, mixologist, absolutely. Absolutely mixologist. Hopefully I have enough here. I think I do. All right. Here we go, you guys. Got my mixed color. Got my ink. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to put this. And listen, because we've got that first transfer down in there and it's already lined up, we can do this. We don't have to worry about trying to keep within the lines. We don't have to be extra special, extra careful. And we can see where that PSL is at, okay? Oh, I think I'm going to have enough, you guys. I really think I'm going to have enough. The only thing I have to be careful about is where we had those extra wordings at the bottom. Definitely try this. The only thing that I have to tell you guys, though, is that now you've stuck a transfer on top of a transfer. Do not, under any circumstances, pull your transfers apart, okay? Go to your sink or your bathtub, run them under cool water, and let them release from each other. When that adhesiveness gets wet, you guys know that it stops being sticky. So you got to get it wet to pull those transfers apart. All right, you guys, here we go. Are you ready? I better not take care of that yet. Checking my fingers. Getting my mat out here. And we're going to pull both of these up at the same time. Woo! I love it! You guys, that turned out pretty darn cool, if I do say so myself. And I'm going to spray this down with some water really fast. Can you guys see that? You're welcome, Marcy. And I will take that entire thing to my bathtub and kind of just get the entire thing wet. Get the entire thing wet and pull them apart underneath some water, okay? Definitely try it. All right, now I don't need this color anymore. I want to get this out of the way so that I don't accidentally move it in the wrong spot. Oh, you're welcome. Y'all, I did this a while ago, but my shirt didn't turn out because my font was too small. Thank you, Marge. My font was just way too small. Yay! This one right here is like the perfect transfer to try it on. So let me dry it up enough that I can show you. It makes sense, right? Because that first transfer is going to keep it only within that PSL. You have to layer them. Otherwise, you're sitting there trying to go around your letters individually, and it just takes too much work. Way too much work. Yep, still wet. Still wet. Thank you. I want to hold it up for you guys, but I gotta dry it. I have to dry it because it looks really cool. Like even cooler up close than what you guys can see. It really does. So while I'm drying this, let's go ahead and get my heat press going. We're getting there. You're so welcome. Did any of you ever have an arthrogram MRI? I never have. Arthro or erythro? I don't even know. All right, I'm going to pull this. Well, let me just go ahead and show you guys first. Up close so you can see it. There is, the word is spice. S-P-I-C-E, spice. Type spice in the comments. Hopefully you guys can see that really well. All of that pattern in there, inside the lettering. I think that that looks super, super cool. Love, love, love it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I think this is probably one of my favorite shirts now. I think it's one of my favorites. All right, so once we've got this all done, we're going to go ahead and pull our ink mat out. We don't want to heat set with our ink mat in. And you need to make sure that your ink is dry before you pull your ink mat out. Otherwise, it's going to lay on top of itself and it's going to smudge all over the place, okay? So you can lay it out in the sun. You can put it out and like just let it sit for a day or so, or you can dry it with a dryer. Throw that over there. Oh, it looks great, right? Looks fantastic. All right, now we're going to put this right inside the shirt. Oh, I do love this so much. I'm wearing this one tomorrow. I'm wearing it tomorrow. And we're either going to grab, so that, what I just put in there was just, it was a Cricut heat press mat. Definitely, Linda. You can use just towels folded up, or you can use an ironing board. Anything that you've got that's going to add a layer of heat protection from getting through to your surface. You guys, you know better. You don't iron right on top of plastic because the plastic's going to melt. Same thing here. It's just a layer of protection before I put my heat mat down, or my heat press down. I have this set for 250 degrees. I'm sorry, 350 degrees. And I'm going to use a piece of Teflon sheeting. Now, if you don't have Teflon sheeting, that's okay. Grab some parchment paper. You just need a protective layer between the two. And I'm going to grab my heat press here, and we're just going to put that right on top there and let that go for 30 seconds. Yeah, Brenda, but did you see it? It's super cool. Yes, the circle did come off for the most part. It's faded a lot. All right, once we get that done with 30 seconds on this side, if you're using an iron, you're going to go medium to high heat, no steam, for about 2 minutes on each side. And what I mean by each side is that after you get the front done, you're going to turn this inside out, put your mat back on the inside, And you can see where the design is at. Because the ink kind of goes through that first letter, so you can definitely still see where the outline of it was. The Teflon sheets were off of Amazon. It came in a 3-pack. Came in a 3-pack. And we're going to put that right back there underneath the design again and do the inside out to heat set that ink from the inside out. Okay? And just let that go for 30 seconds. You're welcome, Pam. I'm just going to wiggle it around. You were going to get the Teflon sheets on Amazon. You guys, I have a list of things that I want to get now. I keep finding new cool things from Amazon. But I'm working on those craft boxes for you guys. And with those craft boxes, yeah, I just spent like $400 on Amazon for those craft boxes. It's an investment, you guys, before I actually have them ready to sell. Quite an investment, I might add. But we're working on those holiday craft boxes for you. I also got 5 new rolls of ribbon from Sam's Club today that will be going in there. Does the Teflon sheet work better than parchment paper? It works the same. The only thing, the reason that I stopped using the parchment paper, first of all, because it was wasteful, and I do a lot of shirts. With the Teflon sheets, it's just, I can roll it back up and use it over and over and over again. And with the parchment paper, I can use it 3 or 4 times, and then I end up grabbing another one, and then they end up being at my feet, and they're all over the place. So I stopped using the parchment paper. It was just time to invest. But there you guys have it. There's the shirt. What do you guys think of it? Do you love it? Like, I want to know, 1 to 10, what did you guys think about this tutorial today? Oh, I'm so glad, Wendy. I'm working on it, girl. It might be a couple of weeks before it's done because I got a lot of things to get. Yes, Sam's does have the Christmas ribbon out. They sure do. Y'all, seriously, I love it. I think it's one of my favorites that I've done in a long, long, long time. Absolutely. Karen says, what are the craft boxes? So, Karen, every couple of, I don't know, every time that I get a chance, I will cut up, I'll buy stuff in bulk and then separate them into smaller craft boxes. And it just comes with a whole bunch of stuff to get you through the season. Really, really convenient for a lot of people. I'll show them when I've got them done before I actually post them to be for sale. I'm working on it, Tanya. Yep, I'm working on all of that stuff. There we go. You say a 15. I love it. Oh, yay! All right, you guys, before you leave, I want to show you a little bit about our project from last night because I finished it last night and I made a little bit of a change to it. Thank you, Bunny. Thank you so much. I love it too. I think that this is fantastic. I think it's fantastic. It's like my favorite now. I would buy that in a store. I still would. All right, let me show you guys these little guys. Last night, I tried to use jute to make our bows on these. And I discovered as I was trying to finish these up that for my bows, you're welcome, Shirley. I really, really loved just using some embroidery floss. The embroidery floss. And so I did the middle one here that we like the most with the lighter color, and then the other 2 on the side, I put a darker brown. But look at how stinking cute those turned out. With that embroidery floss on there, the little beads hanging down. I just love these. I just love them. I think they're, yeah, you guys. I love this whole look. So that's what I ended up doing, you guys. Don't forget about your embroidery flosses that you might have in a bunch of boxes that you don't use anymore for embroidery. Because they also make really cute bows for really small things. Very, very simply. All right, you guys. That's it for me for tonight. Holy cow, that only took 40 minutes. That was really fast. It was really fast. I'm going to get to bed now. Because 6 a.m. comes around really, really early. You guys are fantastic. I love you all so much, and I appreciate you guys all being here. And I'll see you guys back here again tomorrow night for something else new and fun. And I have another request, so we might do that one tomorrow, okay? All right, you guys, I love you so much, and I will see you guys back here later. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.